Well, you know, his individual threats and subterfuge is not anything we are losing sleep over, Bukola. We've carried on. I speak to you authoritatively. Only yesterday, personally, I went to obtain a form for the governorship of Kebbi State, alongside many others who flew into town, you know, and procured their form for the for various offices in the PDP. We have our secretariat where we've been running, as it is a temporary secretariat, since we have found discomfort in the position of a judgment they obtained from a federal high court, allowing them to go ahead with the occupation and be provided security at our main office in Wadata. We've been operating in an office. He knows the location. He should come there and take the office if he can. Of course, it's a temporary office, but we're meeting there. We've been carrying our functions there. Look, we are descending into a state of anarchy, a Hobbesian state of nature, as Thomas Hobbes would describe it, where life is brutish, short, and nasty. These individuals have clearly chosen not to respect the law. You expect a supposed lawyer in his standing. Anyways, I'm not surprised he has never been to the courtroom for once since becoming a lawyer, the so-called lawyer. Some people say if he was a lawyer, he probably would have been trained in the evening, these affiliate courses to become a lawyer, whatever that means. Because I cannot find difficulty in believing that. Otherwise, why would a lawyer be interpreting a Supreme Court judgment that upheld, you know, the judgment of the appeal court, saying upholding the suspension of the individuals that he claimed to be having today as officials of the party, while dismissing at the same time or nullifying the Convention of Ibadan? Every person, you don't need to be a lawyer to agree, to understand. He's saying that the caretaker, the CTC, certified true copy of the judgment, is expected on Friday. These are the tendencies that we have since been warning this country under Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC, that this country is sleeping under a very dangerous precipice. If we are not careful, we will wake up one day and realize there is no republic. Otherwise, why will an individual be so arrogant? Bukola, recently I was with a former president of one of these African countries. In his living room here in Nigeria, probably on exile, he's been here. And he was wondering, this same fellow in question was on air, ranting, boasting, you know, casting aspersion and threatening everybody, by the way. You know, this man was asking, come on, is this country degenerating to this level where a supposed government functionary is descending on virtually everybody, state governors, ministers, former presidents, everybody, he doesn't care. And the system is allowing him. You see, like I started my conversation, at the risk of sounding immodest, we don't want to join, because when you go now fighting with stripping yourself naked in the market square, fighting a lunatic, you will be described as one. Yes.
You say the Turaki group is going ahead with its own business, but from the look of things, INEC still appears to be dealing with the Abdurrahman-led group. I see here on its website, National Chairman Abdurrahman Mohammed, National Secretary Senator Samuel Ayaun, National Treasurer Hamid Yari Mohammed. So INEC appears to still be dealing with the Wike-led group of the PDP.
Okay, I will tell you something. Ahmed Yari is with us. He was even with us yesterday. He has always been with us. He was a former financial secretary of the party. But whether INEC replaces those names there or it allows them, it's immaterial. What is important is what is before the law. The Supreme Court has spoken, and that is the final arbiter in the land. If INEC chooses out of its mischief, which it has demonstrated lately and everybody in this country has seen, that is up to it. But our lawyers have written INEC only yesterday, drawing its attention, you know, to the development of the Supreme Court. And if it is delaying until it sees the CTC, which now the FCT minister is predicting will come on Monday, and that is how despicable this system has become. How does he get to even know when it is expected to be released? We all have been expecting. And sadly, it's been 7 days since the Supreme Court judgment. One will be wondering, what is keeping the CTC? What would be keeping the CTC? I don't see any reason or rational argument from the Supreme Court to say that we cannot obtain 7 days after judgment the certified true copy of that judgment, so that all of this matter will be put to rest. But it doesn't matter. If they delay it to the next 10 years, what I do know is that not a single letter in that judgment can be changed. Because it is not, as I speak to you as a lawyer, it is not possible. The 5 lawyers that sat there, judges that sat there, revered judges, and then it was a split judgment, like, 3-2, would have all the copies of each other's judgment, and then the world has seen it. And so there's no waste of time. We're not losing any sleep. let them try as hard as they can. They will release it in the fullness of time, and we will get started with our. We are going ahead with our activities because BOT, like I told you, in line with the provision of our extant laws, stepped in, invoked the NEC, that's the National Executive Committee of the party, which now, to third, nominated a 13-man, committee in interim capacity to preside over the affairs of the party. It is not like this kind of ramshackle arrangement where an individual, after getting intoxicated from the left side of his bed, he starts nominating people he picked from Oshodi Market or from Aba Market or from Wike in Onitsha, or here in Yanya in Maraba, and just come and form them as a NEC or BOT and everything because he has small dollars that he dishes to them. It's sad. Some of them, when you speak with them, they will tell you that I have school fees to pay. We know that that thing is shambolic. It's just a terrible arrangement from a very terrible character. But we have to just identify with him in the meantime so that we will survive. They all know that